Tale of Two Lions, where the third time is always the charm, despite the fact that there's two lions in the title.
No.
Comedy comes in threes, ladies and gentlemen.
It
Hello,
does.
everyone.
It does. It absolutely does. Unrelated to anything, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this real quick.
Nice music.
So we can get something, so we can have some positivity. Welcome to A Tale of Two Lions. I'm gonna go ahead and unpublish that, and unpublish that, and we're good. We're solid and everything's good. Unrelated to anything, welcome to our game, folks. My name's Anoriand. Sometimes I do things correctly. And with these 5 players, we plan on putting on a wonderful story tonight. A Final Fantasy Tactics-inspired actual play. Yes, I know music loud. I wanted to emphasize.
Music is extremely loud.
Yes, I wanted to emphasize, but I have to lower it down now. We're good. Should be much more manageable now. Hello, my name's Anoriand. Before we introduce our lovely, wonderful players, which I will want to highlight because they are great and they are awesome, and I thoroughly enjoy them. All of them. Thoroughly. And I want to be very clear about that. Let's do our sponsor stuff. Let's get it out of the way. Let's get it knocked out because it's very important. For starters, I would like to first highlight the system we are using to play Valorous Games and the Valor system more specifically. Thank you very much for sponsoring our game today. We use the system because it is crunchy yet freeform. It gives a very anime and very Final Fantasy Tactics aesthetic to the gameplay, and it just honestly perfectly fits the world we're building. Thank you, Kev. If you hit !Valor in chat at any time, you will see links to the Twitter for Valorous Games, as well as the website for Valorous Games, where you can purchase the system if you're interested. And you will see now the Kickstarter page is live. It's not fully active yet, but the Kickstarter page is live for a reprint of the book that adds in some errata, fixes up some slight typos here and there, and more notably, changes some names so that we're not dead naming anyone. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click on that link, sign up, and make sure you're notified so you can assist in that process. Our other major sponsor we'd like to give big thanks to, you'll see the blue box below me, is Adventuring Kit. If you hit !Adventure in chat, you will find links to their Twitter as well as to the actual website. Adventuring Kit is a virtual tabletop. It is system agnostic, so you don't gotta play D&D, you can play whatever the heck you want with it. It's really, really good. It's fast, there's no lag, it's very streamlined, the UI is clean, it is wonderful. For the free membership, you can have 5 people attached to a campaign, but let's just say you wanna go bigger than that, well, good for you. We've got you covered here at A Tale of Two Lions. If you decide to sign up for the premium service and you use code GAMEDAD in all caps, you get 25% off every month with the service. So you can feel free to use that whenever you like. Let them know we sent you because it's a great, great thing. And I really want to support them. Like, I shout them out because, not just because they're sponsors, but I talk about them even outside of the play sphere because it's really good and I really like using it. And as I've been doing every week, we have a third sponsor slot where I'm just going to throw a shout out to something. In previous weeks, we've specifically highlighted players here. This week, there is not a pressing Kickstarter or GoFundMe or anything that I could find that would really make sense. So I just want to support someone who I care about and really want to help and support. To a degree, it is kind of one of the people here, but she is a facet of it. Shakar is one of the single greatest actual plays on the internet. It is wonderful. It is a talented cast. It is an incredible narrative. I don't just say that because I got to be a part of it at one point. It is a world that is near and dear to my heart. I watch it every week. It is excellent. I hype up my own game. I hype up that Black Girl Mage Lexi's game Strix U on Wednesday, but I would like to give a special shout out to the Shakar cast. So if you hit !Shakar in chat, you will find links to that Bronze Girl's Twitch and YouTube. If you are not already following her, please do. Catch Shakar on Tuesdays. It's an amazing show. It's filled with amazing people, and it absolutely needs to be bigger than it is. And if there's even one person who I can draw eyes to who isn't already watching it, I'll consider this worth the slot. And now I'm done.
There.
You are there.
It's true.
And she's wonderful, by the way. And now I'm done talking nonstop. and just hamming things up. And let me hand it over to the important people. Wally, would you like to get us started by letting people know who you are?
Well, yes. Sup, y'all? It's me, Wally, your favorite non-binary slime best friend on the internet. You can find me on Twitter at WALLE132, like the cute little Disney robot. Yeah, that's where you can find me. You can find me every Mondays here. You can find me every other Wednesdays over at Black Girl Maze, but this one day is gonna be there, so check us out for some Strix U action. Then check me over on Thursday for GGK Game Nights when I'm playing some Monster of the Week. Today I am playing Virgil Wormtooth, Magoon? I'm gonna call it a Magoon.
Like a crab magoon?
Like a crab Magoon.
Okay, I'm with it.
Crab Magoon, yeah.
DK, can you help me transition off of that terrible joke?
That's me. Hi, hello. I am DK. You can find me on Twitter at AbbaDarlings, where I am apparently doing my level best to become the confessional poet of TTRPGs. I share my every thought on the internet, whether or not everyone wants to hear it, so if you're into that, that's the place to follow me. Or you can find me on Exquisite Corpse Presents, running very intense, very gay games of very broken D&D. I will be playing Salacia Farcyrus today, the she-they dragonkin.
Thank you so kindly. Lexi, speaking of, next up.
Yeah, my name's Lexi, otherwise known as the Black Girl Mage. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch, where I dungeon master, I talk about D&D, play magic, I do all the fun nerd stuff. And yeah, I am also the dungeon master for the other show and the, what did we call it, like the Shonda Rhimes lineup?
The Shondaland lineup.
The Shondaland lineup. Strix U happens on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. Yeah, that's it. Me and Wally over there. Yeah.
And next up, Sin, please, if you would.
Hi, it's me, Sin. Also going to be playing Zeros, who has several questions about the evening. As far as where you can find me on Tuesdays, streaming various video games and, fighting gods and all that. You can find me on Saturdays playing Ampetrano with D&D Jordan Lee. And you can find me here on Mondays playing with these lovely people.
And Sephi, last but certainly not least.
Hi, I'm Persephone, aka Persephoroth, and I am playing Feldspar Lycio. And you can find me at Persephoroth everywhere online.
Thank you so much. So, to give a brief recap to begin the episode, our heroes ran into Gofford Gafgarian on the road, who enlisted their help to save his unit, which was waylaid by some form of attacker. And our heroes suspected something was wrong, but ultimately went along and came up with a plan of how they were going to follow the path laid out by Gafgarian, save the unit, and save the day. Unfortunately, it's Gofford Gafgarian, so for those of you who know that name, you know betrayal was afoot. Upon arriving anywhere near the location at Poesca's Lake they were headed to, they were all suddenly caught hold of and restrained by various magics by a mysterious hooded figure who gave Gafgarian some sort of paper that had power to it, that Gafgarian imbued the power of into himself. Remus Thedolphus, our old, ornery, but not truly terrible captain, attempted to escape and was met with death. He was slain before the team. Riding off the rage of that moment, they broke themselves free of their magic restraints, and they fought and defeated a mighty Bone Hydra. Though Salacia ran off along with Lance to try and see if they could catch the perpetrator of the origin of this whole thing. And so we come upon our heroes, having just felled the Bone Dragon, and now making a conscious effort to move on to try and find some sort of vengeance. I'm gonna lower that down for sure. So, intrepid heroes. Virgil, Zeros, Fallon, Feldspar, you all have gathered yourselves and you run off into the woods in the direction you saw Lance and Zeros going, correct? Okay. Would you like to lay out like the order that you think you're in, anything like that? Anything?
Lexi, you are muted.
Oh, I had the coin, and I know I was last because I think I was
Okay.
the last person to run after everyone else.
Okay.
I am probably just before Fallon, just because I'm not very good at physical activity, despite training.
I'm being extra, and since we're in the woods chasing after this thing, I'm leaping from branch to branch.
I should have prepared the Naruto, but
But also,
Should have known.
Also, I'm doing this in particularly just because I know I would leave people in the dust. So I'm kind of doing this so I can also keep an eye out ahead of anything, and then just zoom back and warn people.
get you a friend like Virgil who knows your physical limits, y'all. So, as our party moves along, you start noticing little hints. You see very clearly gashes along the trees and bushes alongside you. You can expect that likely as they were rolling through, Lance took out his giant, two-handed Zweihander and was just slashing along the way to anything that happened to possibly be obstructing him, with Salacia following in tow. And as you're running, eventually you come into a clearing. And as you get to the clearing, you see on the ground the body of Lance. Not dead, but very clearly gripping himself, wounded in combat, and over him is Salacia. And noticeably absent is Gafgarian. And so now, with the group sort of reassembled, as you run forth, you see Lance like...
I'm immediately going to go to him and start to heal him. What happened?
He's better than I thought. God, thank you.
The soldiers managed to find you in time.
Soldier, what?
There were soldiers trailing behind us. I went to the castle.
I'm afraid they didn't make it.
Not from this direction. No, we caught him here. I gave him a good what for, but I wasn't ready for what he was packing.
Lance, you were phenomenal.
Thank you for that. You weren't so bad yourself, let me tell you. Yeah.
I imagine that whatever deal he made for our bodies enhances power greatly. Oh, also, hold still. You can't move yet while I'm healing you.
I'm not trying to move.
You
You
are
have been moving
actually wiggling.
consistently.
I'm wincing.
No, you're not. You're moving a leg.
I fear we weren't the only price that he paid for that.
No, this was a hell of a fight. But I think a wound like this doesn't look natural. This is all the evidence I need to be able to say that he did something.
Which way did he leave?
It was that way, but he used some sort of warping thing. But I was gonna have to tell you all this eventually.
What?
Okay. You see him kind of sitting up more so he can look at you all. The group hierarchy wasn't quite as you were all led to believe. I'm Lance, but I put on a bit of a show. I couldn't look too good with Remus in charge. But in case you didn't pick up, Old Man Thedolphus, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but it was a nepotism hire, shall we say. And,
Those were the feeling I was getting, but continue.
yeah, So we needed him to think he was in charge, but Melchior always had me appraised of situations. I was his go-between.
So, let me get this straight. You used him as a figurehead because no one could know that you were in charge?
Not in charge fully, but in other words, we weren't fully trusted. Like, I was the one who Melchior always went to for real information in between. So,
I see.
yeah.
This is the part where we wait for you to tell us the thing that we didn't know.
That is fair. Yeah.
Yeah. In other words, gosh, dang. In other words, I come a bit more prepped than you'd think. And you see him reach into his doublet and pull out a small crystal. He's like, and I'm a bit more connected. This right here is a warp stone. By using it, I'll be able to jump right back to Limberry real fast. And I can let them know what's happened. He might have used some type of warping magic. I don't think he went to Limberry. But
Do you have to go alone?
I don't have to, but I think we should plan out what we're doing before I make moves. So, and kudos to y'all. That was not... Looks like you... And he specifically looks at Virgil and Feldspar and like any tatters and tears on the close of the neck and says, looks like you two didn't have it easy either.
No.
It was
No, we did not.
it was a rough fight to say the least, but yeah. And like you see him, he's kind of like favoring his like rib cage, like he's holding the side of it, like he is in a lot of pain, like he's in an unbearable amount of pain, and he's kind of like stomaching through it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to throw
Feldspar-
down some healing magic while they're working on things.
Feldspar looks like she's a walking skeleton and is hiding something underneath her robes, perhaps a wound or two.
Right. Meanwhile, I will tell both of you, as you're healing, you notice that the wound is reacting. Like, it's clearly, it's not that the healing magic's not taken, but there is clearly something odd at play here. Like, it's not healing the way it should. Like, it's actively rejecting attempts to heal.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, not that it's not working, again, to be clear, but like, you feel like you should be seeing more reaction than you are.
Can I roll intuition with the knowledge of this wound and what little I gleaned of what deal transpired between
Right,
Gafgarian
absolutely,
to
go
see
for it.
what the source is?
Hit me with intuition plus a d10.
Okay, that is... Ooh, good. That is 17, the max I can roll.
Okay, you immediately realize, like, as far as the dark magic, this is very specifically connected to the same magic you saw, the contract he absorbed, and notably, like, you can tell whatever attack he used, in general, part of it is that it's antithetical to life force. So it specifically will fight against healing. From that, you can surmise like a regular, in other words, one thing you could extrapolate out from that, Remus, from a similar attack from a similar person that was not born of this magic, might have survived. But it's clear this magic is absolutely on another level and literally like oppositional to life force.
This magic's entropic in nature. There's only so much I can do here. You're going to need to go to someone with more skill.
What options do we have? School, the castle.
There's plenty of healers back at the castle. I can tell I'm gonna be okay. It's just, it's gonna take longer than I'd like, and I'm not gonna be very much good in the fight.
You are very lucky that you are alive, is what you should be saying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything to put myself...
She's right. There's a reason that Remus died from this, and you haven't. I haven't quite
What
surmised
lands-
it yet.
What Lance isn't saying is that that hit was intended for me. And he jumped in the way.
Nobody needed to know that, though. I gotta
I
make
think they
smart leadership decisions.
We only have room for one hero in this team, so
Yeah, me.
it's Virgil. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, as long
I
as
would
you're with
argue
them,
we
I guess
don't
I'm
have room
fine.
for that either.
Just we have an ounce.
Always
Um,
enough room for me.
So,
May
by the
I
way, real quick before we continue, one thing I would like to point out: you all did go down to 0 valor at the end of combat. At this point, with everyone having chimed, I'm going to give everyone 1 valor. That's like for out of combat stuff. Virgil and Feldspar are currently at 2. So, and I'll call out any further from here. But one other thing I'll point out real quick for anyone who pays attention, you will see he's wounded. Salasia's not quite as wounded, obviously, but there's some tears and nicks here and there. Like, clearly the fight was not exactly a one-blow situation.
I would suggest that we all go back to Limberry. None of us are in fine form, and I worry about where Gagarian worked to.
As much as I see what you're saying, I think I have a slightly better idea that could be more efficient.
Might I also remind you all that Remus's body lies in the road and there is a contingent of soldiers on the way. It would not do well for them to find him there without us.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great, but no, I got a plan already. I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna tell him everything that happened. Get, all patched up.
Have you considered the possibility that Gafgarian went back to the castle to spin his own tale?
No, he knew what he was doing. He was not fighting. If he wanted to head back to the castle, he would have made sure to take us both out. He wouldn't want witnesses once he knew that there were some.
Fair enough.
My guess is he's with the wind. We gotta figure that problem out. But first things first, we gotta let Command know what he did so that he's not walking in there as a free man. Now, what I will say, I think maybe we need to split up. Y'all can head to Bessalat, bunker down, get some rest, do what you gotta do, and figure out, we gotta figure out where these things are coming from.
We need to go to Galleon.
That would be a wise
Okay.
decision.
Road trip?
It
you
would be a
handle that.
repository of information where we could find out more about this.
I just give a single nod to Fallon because I know that Fallon is still holding the shiny coin-looking thing.
Yes. Does this mean anything to you? And I assume the nod to me is show this off.
Right.
So
Correct.
I will take it out of my little tiny leather pouch and I will show it off and try to see if
That's oh god, I've seen that before. That's Holstead, isn't it?
I think that's what.
The very same.
Yeah.
The hell would you have that for?
They're not a very important.
Where'd you find it?
That man had it.
Yes. Tossed it to me after I finished off the Bone Hydra.
I'm sorry, he tossed it to you?
As if we were some cheap circus traveling troupe.
good.
Basically giving it to me.
Oh, great. We're dealing with people who want to play with us.
So you're telling me that these people are asking for an open invite for us to come after them?
I am immediately worried about letting you go.
First of all,
Who?
me specifically. Me, yes. First of all, I can understand that, yes, you don't want me to go in there by myself with dealing with this because I may die. I'm
It's
not.
more than that. You also lead with your fists instead of your head sometimes.
Right, and I was going to
She doesn't mean headbutting.
Let me recant myself. I was going to say in more of the sense that I would prefer that I have the rest of us as a team handle this.
We
Yeah.
still don't know the meaning of the coin. You could be exposing someone that they're working with. You could be giving us some sort of hint that leads us to a trap. We don't know.
I mean, I'm going to take it as this. From what I'm seeing, since this guy tosses this coin with this land's name on it, it means he's calling us out. That's where my mind is going with it. They're giving us an open invite to this place for us to go in there and say, hey, I know what you guys are all about. I'm calling you out. That's where I'm going with this. I don't know why they're doing this, but...
Are we sure that they're working together? Are we sure about anything?
No.
No, we aren't sure of.
No.
Lance, you need to get medical attention.
Yeah,
this is
listen,
important.
the real problem is that we're not sure. And I don't want everyone walking into a death trap when we don't know what's ahead of us. Homesteads are in Galleon, in the Garland area, but like, you don't have to go straight there. If anything's gonna have information, that is. So yeah, all right, we'll split up. I'll head back. I'll let them know what's going on. We'll be all good there. The rest of you, first get to Besselat, hunker down, get some rest, do what you gotta do. And then once you're in shape, head to Garland. I don't know where you're gonna do your research. Here's what you need to know. I know you. I know how great you all are. I'm not gonna sit here. I kind of miss already being called a boot spoogle or whatever the hell, but I know you can handle yourselves. I trust you. You're my team. Your hope. But don't get yourself killed out there. Virgil. I want to see you again.
He walks over to Lance, and he holds a hand out to him, and does like that wrist grab kind of handshake, helps him up, puts him supports him on his shoulder, and he like pats him on the shoulder, like, Lance, don't worry, you're gonna see me again, because first of all, you owe me 5 gold. And second of all, who else I'm gonna drink with at the end of the week?
We're gonna have to double or nothing on that bet. Okay. All right, and you see him grab the crystal and start prepping. But hold. And he looks at Salacia specifically, and he's like, we need to talk about that. But just keep
Yes, sir.
keep everyone safe.
I had a feeling you might say that.
Keep everyone safe.
I will do my level best.
We'll talk about it later. And with that, you see him step back, wince a little bit, and then hold the crystal aloft, and he's gone.
What was that about, Salacia?
I think Feldspar is the only one close enough to see that Salacia's eyes are different than they were the last time that you saw her. Everything else about her is as it was, but her pupils have retracted to slits, and much more of the iris is visible, and it is now kind of a bright pink, and she does not seem to be aware of this change.
Salacia, your eyes are...
My eyes are what?
Nothing. Never mind. Filing that away for later. We should retrieve Remus's body before we do anything else.
I think he deserves at least that much.
I agree. Anyone want to do the final rites? Say some words.
I can do it. Even though I'm, kind of the newest here. But his body was back in the previous place, right?
Yes.
So we'd have to walk.
Yeah. So just the group maneuvers from that clearing back to the original tributary area, and there, when you return, you see Remus's body on the ground. And if you remember, he got sorted this way, so his body was forward a little bit, and then Virgil fired that aura bolt, and it dispersed the blade that was piercing him. And now that you come upon him, you can really see that when that happened, as a result, he dropped to his knees, but somehow the blow actually, the way the sword dispersed, he fell backwards. And you see him lying there, eyes actually looking somewhat at peace, if nothing else, but completely Paladin Gray looked over as he's looking directly up at the sky.
I will. Yeah. It's odd to see him like this.
He
Yeah.
used to be so vibrant,
Yeah.
if annoying.
And I think maybe this is out of place, but I don't think I've ever seen him look up at the sky. I feel like he was always looking down.
It's nice to see him looking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to see him. Even like this, even looking so peaceful, the guy still looked like he's full of pride. The guy was kind of absent-minded and everything, but guy had pride, that's for certain.
Yeah. I think I could say so many things for him. I could talk for hours about how many different names he called me, called all of us, and we could go on about how he couldn't do his job, but at the end of the day, he was a person. And I should hope that even if I end my time and I'm not good at what I do, that I'm good deep down inside. And deep down, I think he's good. So, hopefully, looking for peace. He looks like he's at peace, but I hope he found it. And I will just start moving to help everyone else pick him up.
Everyone take a point of valor. Lexi, take 2.
Damn.
So, as y'all are going to motion, you see, they're here, sir! And a small retinue of troops shows up behind you. They come upon you, and one of them, by God, what seems to have... And
Exactly what I was worried about.
Our apologies, ma'am. We weren't used to this terrain.
Feldspars, are these the people that you were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Not sure if you could have done anything even if you were here.
Feldspar, go ahead and give me an intuition roll real quick.
Also, isn't this like a road?
No, y'all were off the beaten path. It's like a small little creek that fills eventually into the majority of Lake Boescus.
That is 11.
Okay, yeah, this is so you know, the troops who were sent, it's not like they're nothing, but these are clearly just like foot soldiers. They would not have lasted in the fight. They would have basically been at best fodder in a fight against anything you've just dealt with.
Honestly, you should be happy that you're late. You wouldn't have survived otherwise.
You see him holding a small spear. Yes. And as he's looking around the battlefield and seeing, tears and rips in the actual ground where the beam was blasted and so on, he's like, I'm starting to gather as much. There is a cart here. We can assist with the body, at least.
No, actually, I'll carry it myself. And I'll pick up the body.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow Fallon.
Give me a
too.
muscle roll, Fallon.
Same.
Let's do it. Come on, Muscle. Don't fail me now. Oh, crap. D10. Let's go. Oh, I rolled both of them. I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, it's just your muscle stat plus D10.
Okay, so ignore what the die say because I rolled a D10 and a D20. But it should be 14.
Okay, yeah, you effortlessly get him up over your shoulder. One thing I will note is it's just a heft. It's just one clean motion. All of you see Fallon just fucking yanked a body. That is, I'll remind you, while there are no boots or gauntlets, he's still got his armor. Mm-hmm. And she just one-armed that shit. So just keep that in mind. So the group begins moving from here, I assume. Where are you planning on going with the body?
We were told to go to Garyland, right? But we need to go back to Linbury to recoup? Was that the point?
No, we're supposed to go to a nearby town.
Oh, okay.
That's so I
Never mind.
believe.
Better write
I
that down.
believe that if we want to be expedient, we are going to have to send the body with these soldiers back to Limbury.
And continue on to Bestilat.
Oh. Are we sure? We trust them.
It's unfortunately not a matter of trust. It's a matter of practicality.
The soldier who was talking walks up in front of you, Fallon, and he throws his spear to the side and he says, "Ma'am, we honor our fallen. I can promise you we will treat him with the utmost care."
And I think with this glance, and I think in this glance that Fallon gives everyone to do a final are we sure? And everyone nods back. She'll hand it off. I think her eyes truly convey how young she is. Just extremely young, dealing with this, and hands the body off and comes back to join the group.
I'll note that when you hand it to the one guy, he immediately is buckling and two others come and help to lift this body, and they do so respectfully, but it takes three men to effectively lift what Fallon just one-armed over the shoulder because she is daddy.
It's true. Sadly.
Before these soldiers leave, Feldspar is going to pull a scroll out of her pack, a blank scroll, and she's going to write quickly to the quartermaster everything that occurred.
Okay. So
One of the soldiers.
soldiers.
This goes to the quartermaster and no one else.
You have my word, ma'am. If nothing else, I will succeed in this today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And so with that, the soldiers and the retinue take the body in the cart. You see there are two soldiers in the cart along with the body, and each one has a hand on his shoulder. It seems almost so that it doesn't rustle too much as the cart is being pulled. You can tell they're being very respectful.
As I walk away, can I do something?
Go ahead.
As I walk away, and Feldspar's watching them, and then she starts to sway from side to side, and then immediately her body goes slack and she starts to faint.
I would like to
Oh,
catch
that one's
her.
great. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely dive in catch.
I need all of you to
all
roll
four of us
dexterity
crash into
so I can see who gets there first.
Yes. Come on,
If
Dex.
everybody gonna be extra, we gonna fight about this.
That
It's
is
definitely not me.
That is a 10 from me.
That's a 9 from me.
That is a 14 for me.
Damn, Celicia. Come on.
Let's go, Salacia.
The dragonkin herself swoops up, catches Feldspar's body as it's falling, and Feldspar's obviously no worse for the wear. Though clearly tired of everything I just went through.
We should find the nearest town.
Let's get going.
Rest.
We've
She
been
needs to
through a lot.
rest.
Yeah.
Who knows the directions to Basilat? I'm guessing all of us do. Or should.
All of you would know, but I will help by pointing out that is fundamentally where your journey actually started before you left. You were at the walled city of Basilat, so it is essentially just going back where you started and getting rest there.
Okay. Time to go back.
So,
Can anyone heal? Oh,
I can.
is she sleeping? Is this sleep or is this like sick heal? I'm not
Probably
really sure.
exhausted.
Well, considering the battle that we've been through and the fact that she used a considerable amount of energy to get us through it,
And she gave so much
That's-
to Lance.
Yeah.
I'd say that she needs rest.
Well, I can. Celestia, you can carry her. I can carry her. You can heal, and then she can rest while we carry her.
Honestly, I'm honestly kind of glad this is the first time, that we had. Glad to have you, Fallon, because I was always the muscle. Good
Yeah.
muscle. Good muscle.
I can tell.
Hey, Fallon. Let me ask you something.
Mhm.
Was that your first time?
Yes.
All right. Listen. Oh, let me just. Yeah, sure. What the heck are you doing here? Listen, Fallon. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be real for you. What you saw today, the feeling you have right now, it's gonna get worse. In this line of business, the stuff you saw today, this is only the tip of the iceberg. So I'm just gonna pose it to you right now. You can turn back and go back to whatever life that you had before this, or you can continue with us.
Fallon looks down, and I'm pretty sure I described her having a patch like ripped off in its specific area on a jacket she was wearing. She looks down, she looks up at each of you, and just says, I think I'll be all right.
Good. Because I am not carrying your ass. And he starts walking.
Wally, go ahead and take a point of valor.
I just place a hand on Fallon's shoulder and it's just like, you're interesting.
You are too.
Highest compliment that Zeros gives literally anything.
Fallon does the fist bump as you did. She can walk ahead.
God, I love these party dynamics. So, I'm assuming from here, for 4 of you, I'll ask, is everyone now making their way towards Basilat? One of you is being voluntold into this regardless,
Yes.
as displayed.
Celestia, you coming?
Yep. Right behind you.
All right.
And Celicia hoists Feldspar up a little bit higher and joins the group.
Okay. And everybody take 1 more point of valor. So
I'm going to hang behind the group for just a moment to say a thing. Just kind of scanning the place that we just fought and looking and thinking back through the forest too, and the amount of people that were sacrificed just for this. May the goddess of twilight take you into her embrace. And hopefully, I'm not the only person who said that prayer for you today. And then I leave.
go ahead and take an extra point, Zeros.
Nice.
So now, our team is moving along. They leave from Lake Poescus, where they were, travel along through the Limberry lands, and get to the free city of Besselat, standing outside the walls of Besselat Fortress. There, they will find, again, it's where they started their adventure. They already have connections there. They easily find lodging, chance to hunker down and rest. Plus, they have connection to healers there and what have you. So everyone has the chance to replenish, restore themselves. I will ask, while in Besselat, is anyone specifically taking the chance during this resting period to do anything along the side? Or is the plan just kind of boogie, get your rest, get your energy back up, and make ways over to Garland?
I would like
Yeah. Go ahead.
to find a monastery and
Okay.
spend some time there before I bed down for the night.
Absolutely.
Is there a potion shop?
There is. You can absolutely find one. And anyone else?
I would like to go to the potion shop, and then Fallon is working on her hand cannons all night,
Okay.
all day. all
Right.
quantity
While
time.
you're resting and what have you.
Yeah.
Virgil will buy a bottle of the stuff that Remus always drank, and they will just sit up on the roof of the inn they're staying at and just have a drink up there by himself.
I dig it. Feldspar, doing anything other than being unconscious?
No.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Honest. Okay, so first we will go to... We will start out with Zeros and Fallon going to the local potion shop. As you walk in, you see a very large human. Just a big man. Dude is 6'8" at minimum, and clearly this man lifts. Just yeeked out. Okay, you see his clothes are tight to him, and if he's got a 6-pack, he's got an 8-pack. You can tell because of how everything's put up to him. And you see him lean up on the camera. Lean up on the counter. What's going on, my friends? Welcome. How can I help you today?
What medicinal items do you have for sale?
Depends on what you consider medicinal.
Well, I'm certainly not asking for ale.
But I would be interested in your other definitions of medicinal if you have them.
Well, listen, they say laughter's the best medicine. I tell some great jokes. Some people say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I do have apples. But I'm guessing you mean more magic libations, shall we say.
Fallon smiles and nods, like, yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
So you see him lean back. He stays in this position, clearly doing a little bit of the flex arm with this, but you see him lean his right arm back, and because of how tall he is, he obviously has long arms, back on a shelf behind him, and he plucks a couple of healing potions off of it and puts it down. Well, something like that right there.
Exactly like that.
Very much so.
Anything else that's more spicy when it comes to libations?
Now I'm looking at Fallon like, spicy, by What do you mean by this?
I'm looking straight forward. I'm like, do you know? You know exactly what I mean. Straight to the shopkeep.
So you see, okay. I'm gonna drink some water.
Please.
Not Zero's looking back and forth between these two like, does someone want to inform me of what's happening here?
The shopkeep reaches down, but of course, as he's leaning, it's a forward lean. This right here is part of the special reserve, and you see him plop a blue potion down on the counter. But that's only for the premium customers.
And
Could make
what
an
defines a
exception.
premium customer.
I could make an exception.
I'm going to. I'm gonna lean onto the counter, showing off my muscles, and I'll be like, I'd be interested in that exception. What if we just, why don't we arm wrestle for it?
You see him flash a grin. All right. And he gets his arm in place.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll.
I'm about to say, I'm gonna need you to hit me with a swift muscle roll.
Okay, +6, y'all. Oh, it's only a 9.
Yeah, well, this
it's only
guy's
a
not as
9.
strong as you, and I only rolled a 2, so I'm gonna count that. I was going off my head of him having a muscle of 6, so good on you.
Amazing.
So yeah, you see there is a press back and forth. He's looking dead in her eyes the entire time and grinning.
I'm sitting here like watching this whole thing happening, and then like watching how things go. I'm like, he doesn't know that she just cracked an entire Bone Hydra in half.
Yep.
And as his hand's going down, he's, I may have to put you in the VIP customer class. And right then is when his hand gets pinned.
I'll take that. Does it come with like a card or something that I get, or?
No, don't worry. I'm great with faces.
Then let's see that VIP stock. And she's just gonna Zero's. This is not a sign anybody has seen so far, but she loves this kind of thing. So she's like trying to get everything she can.
Now
for
I'm
the
over
team
here
right
like
now.
I'm over here making just quiet notes.
He's going to step back and again do a look side to side, and you're gonna see him walk out of the room real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's some rummaging around back there, and he comes back out with a bag and lays it down. He says, I saw that on your hip. And you see him motion down to the hip area, but obviously specifically to the side where your gun is. And it's like, I think you might find the contents handy for you. And so when you look inside the bag, you'll see that it's bullets, but they look a little bit more unusual than than usual. Go ahead and give me an intuition roll.
Let's do it. Ooh, 11.
Okay. You are knowledgeable enough about machinery and the like. You can tell these bullets are flared in an unusual way. Like their shape is not the straight form that you would think. And you can tell by the coloring, because you're used to a lot of the ammunition manufacturers back home, you have an idea of which company made this. These bullets will fire from your hand cannon, but you can tell that when they hit their target, they're going to shoot out some shrapnel around where they land. Think something like a shotgun, but if it shred on impact. And so I will give you. You can note this on your sheet. You have a total of 10 uses of your hand cannon moving forward, where it's the same as it always is, but now you have a burst radius effect on it. So it's going to hit adjacent things to what you hit.
And is this, so you said 10 uses of these like specific bullets?
Yes, there's 10 bullets in the bag.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and with that, you see him go. I'll have to find some real good product for you for the next time you come in.
I think we both would appreciate that. I look over at Zeros.
There's just like that knowing nod. Like, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Also, not for nothing, but you happen to have boot polish.
I just got literal bullets. I just arm wrestled for bullets.
This man is just literally leaning there and staring you down. He is clearly not going to say goodbye until you do.
Oh, no, that was an actual question.
Oh, you asked that?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. Like, in character. That is an in-character question.
Okay, and I'm telling you, he's taking a second.
Okay. Boot polish. Those two potions.
Yes.
Boot polish.
And you see he quickly just reaches back and he flips the can at you real quick. And then leans back over.
Thank you. How much is this?
Yeah.
Let's go, Zeros. Let's go.
I just look at just kind of look at Fallon for a second and go, do you reckon that we ought to get more potions while we're here? He seems to be very taken at the moment. And
How many do we have?
So far, to my knowledge, 2.
No, he put 2 smaller red potions down originally, and then the one more fancy-looking blue potion after the fact. So 3 thus far.
Okay, so we have 3 potions and boot polish. You know what? I think we will see this as the blessing it is and leave. And I just put things in a pocket. Goes. Fallon, do you want to go first or shall I?
To say goodbye? Or what?
Yes.
You go. I have to stare him down. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
I say okay, and then just slowly, I don't even turn. I walk backward, but slowly out of the shop.
And that's also what Fallon does, staring directly at him. And then hand up to the forehead and says, "Have a good one," and walks out.
But she says, "Have a good one," and before she walks out, she just catches a, "I will."
Oh, there's a wink. There's a wink through her back.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right.
I
didn't.
Women.
That was some sexual tension.
I didn't expect that before tonight started, but here we are.
Well, Fallon, it sounds like we're going to have to go shopping together more often.
It's an experience, I'm telling you.
Okay. And at this point, we literally shift from P Valley to a church. To be clear.
Not
church.
Peace Valley, please.
No, that's not what I... There we go. And there's, of course, a Globadosian monastery here. Everyone prays to Saint Ajora Glabados. And so, Salacia, upon finding yourself entering, you see there were a couple of various clergy people just ambling about doing their thing. People visiting during the day is nothing new. So unless you go seeking anyone out, they're just going to continue doing their thing.
I definitely don't. I think on the walk to the church, I managed to catch sight of myself in a puddle, and I've seen my own eyes now. And I think I am just head down, nodding politely, but doing my absolute best not to make eye contact with anyone inside.
Okay. You go and sit down towards a pew. There is a large statue in the front of the Saint Ajora Glabados with wings behind, ascending to heaven. Just a good omen thing for everyone to be there for. I'm assuming you just sit and pray for a bit.
I think Salacia intends to pray. She intends to meditate, to ruminate on what happened earlier today. But I think she honestly spirals out. I think she sits there for a good 2 hours, staring blankly and kind of unseeing at the statue, trying to, I guess, either understand or avoid the new kind of thrum of power in the back of her mind.
So, as you're sitting there, hour passes, hour and a half, 2 hours. You're kind of just losing yourself in the void of everything. You see the statue before you. Everything moves around you. Life continues, but it kind of just is. It just exists. And you're mostly left alone. But somewhere a couple hours into it, a cloaked figure comes and sits in the pew, not directly next to you, but the same pew as you, a little bit over. And you see they've got themselves hunched over. Their hood clearly obscures most of their face, and all you can really tell is their hands. They've got darker skin, but you can see wrinkles and some callousing, like they're worn. These are the hands of someone who has used them in combat before. They're just sitting there hunched over for a while like this, not saying anything. And then, as you're going, eventually you hear, "It's tough sometimes."
I'm sorry? And Salacia turns.
It's tough sometimes when you need to pray, but you don't know what to pray.
It's interesting when you go to pray and find that you might have been praying for the wrong thing for a very long time.
Well, the one thing I remember is, so long as you try to walk towards the light, whatever that light may be, the darkness can never take you. And you see as he shifts this way, some light catches and where the hood opening is, and you see the front tip. It looks like the extended front of the nose of a mask. Let me immediately be clear, not the skull mask you just saw that one man have. He's clearly wearing some type of mask that, or he just has a porcelain face. But it's mostly a silvery gray with a streak of blue going down, and you see two openings that are clearly nostrils, but just as quick a glimpse as you get from the light, the hood shifts to block it just the same.
Well, I should let you return to your prayer, but I hope whatever it is, it gets answered.
Because actually, I was just finishing, but there's no need to fear the Reaper. And with that, you see him get up and walk away.
Okay. All right. Okay, time to go. Time to go. Time to leave. And talking to herself, sort of absently, not panicked, but just having sort of had something shift into place for herself, is going to quickly and most expeditiously make it back to where she knows everyone is, not ever looking over her shoulder.
Yes. So at this point, I'm assuming everyone gathers in their resting space. And so everyone gathers, collects to rest, recovers. All of you, first, which, by the way, I'm going to give Valor points to Salacia, to Zeros, and to Fallon. All of you, I will give you a chance. You go back up, all 5 of you go back up to full health, go back up to full stamina. You're good after resting. And from here, you're going to make your way from Bessalat to Garland. After we take a short break, y'all. We're going to take a little quick 10-minute break. We'll be back at 9:13. So I will see y'all then, if you give me one moment to actually properly set this first. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Here we go. So yeah, see y'all in 10 minutes. Coming back soon. And we are back from break, folks. Thank you so much for waiting for us. How's everybody doing? I hope y'all got a chance to stretch. Hope y'all got a chance to maneuver, get loose, get loosey-goosey, get a drink if you need. Welcome in. Before we return to the gameplay, I will do that thingy I've been doing. We've got some giveaways, y'all. As you've seen below me, the dice tray for Adventuring Kit. We give out 2 codes every week to lucky winners for 1 free month of premium service with Adventuring Kit, which is an awesome thing, so you should totally go for it. So I'm going to go ahead and start this up. If you want to do me a favor and hit !free in chat, !free, you will be entered for the first of the 2 codes. Okay, go ahead and hit !free in chat to get a code that I will give you at the end of the session for a free month of Adventuring Kit. Everybody feeling okay? Because there was a heavy tonal shift there right before break.
Oops.
You know, I wasn't thinking you were the wild one, shall we say? But you know, Lexi.
I went from literally giving a eulogy to arm wrestling.
Okay, so what you're saying is you have range. That's what
I was about to say.
That's what it sounds like to
Contain
me.
multitudes.
You know the old saying.
Latitudes.
Sometimes, if you want to make an omelet, you have to flirt and arm wrestle with a shopkeeper.
It's true. Gotta get the eggs somehow.
Actually,
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna acknowledge it.
Nope.
No, ma'am.
Fallon doesn't know
No,
how that
ma'am.
works.
welcome to our good Christian channel, AP, of A Tale of Two Lions.
Sponsored by Christian Mingle. When you're here,
Your
you're
family?
Catholic.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's
it was gonna be a
Mormons.
farmer's
Just
Only-
when you're here.
I thought it was gonna be a farmer's only joke, but okay, Christian Mingle.
Are they really all that different?
No,
they really aren't.
the Venn diagrams are almost unilaterally a circle.
And right on time.
All right, I'm gonna give you 30 more seconds for another !free before I pull that. Remember, !free, 1 free month of Adventuring Kit. Also, hit !adventure in chat if you want to tool around with Adventuring Kit, get a look, get an idea for why you should be using it. It's pretty great. I knew what this was gonna be
Oh,
because of keeping abreast of what was going on, and yet I was unprepared for the end result.
Why you gotta bring up my chest,
See, I was
Anor?
gonna say something. I wasn't gonna say something. As soon as you said it, I just locked eyes with Seppi. Nope. Who's gonna say it first? Who's gonna say it first? Let's go. Let's go.
My titties aren't even out today. I'm very modest.
The picture of modesty, always.
Oh boy.
All right, let's go ahead and roll this for the first code, which will be delivered after stream. We got, bam, Lord Loki Asgard. Let me go ahead and write this down. You will be getting a 1 month free code for Adventuring Kit, the system agnostic virtual tabletop. That's really fun and really good, even though we haven't been using it tonight because it's been very narrative.
I've used it.
Well,
Same.
for rolling, actually, that's actually a good point. Yeah, which you can do. So for this next one, go ahead and hit !stuff, because we like free stuff, and you can get entered to get free stuff, which is a free month of Adventuring Kit that I'll reach out afterwards. So !stuff, because we got 1 more code to give away this week, folks. So even if you didn't win that last one, you can still win, because you're all winners, as far as I'm concerned. All of you.
it's very
Now,
good
no
for-
one's as much of a winner as Virgil.
I mean,
It's true.
come on.
Fallon's gonna prove that one wrong, but
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Is winner the
First of all,
correct
Fallon-
word there?
Very
Fallon-
humbly.
Fallon added to the fuel by saying there are no heroes on this team except you, Virgil. So what?
And I believe that I clarified that we would prefer you not to be.
You know what? And I respect your
Caps
opinion,
don't
folks.
matter. You just got to make sure that you do an exclamation point and then stuff.
I mean, I respect
But
your opinion that you guys don't want me to be. a
Caps
hero,
do
but-
matter because we'd like to put a cap on Virgil.
What
Can't
I
put a
want
cap in
is
perfection.
this is me looking at Virgil and going, I'm going to have to stop you, but it's going to be for your own good if I ever do.
Oh boy, I love this character so much. I just love them.
I love all 5 of you.
So I'm, you know something, Virgil, because of the thing that you mentioned earlier, what I'm waiting for is for us to hit a level so I can give you a free wall to punch people into whenever you feel like it.
Oh my gosh, I am looking forward to that.
For the
I'm
man
looking
who
forward-
has everything.
Yes.
Get
that's
him a
the
wall.
only thing. Yes. That or, a nice little wall that I can just knock people into or just pick up and throw at people. That's all I need.
You cannot pick up the wall. The wall will hurt you if you try to pick it up.
Well, that's one less thing I can.
This wall punches back.
There we go.
All right. We do
A
tech.
gift for every Kyle you know.
I didn't say drywall. We said wall.
No, a wall that punches back. Because, it might
Those
make them
parties.
stop.
Kyle. Yeah, no. I can.
So out there for the Kyles, the Liams, the Calebs.
I feel like
Definitely the Todds.
I feel like the Liams caught
Chad.
astray on that one.
The Joshes.
The Liams have been
Yes, the
good.
Joshes.
No,
Yes,
no.
the Joshes.
I'm willing to admit Josh is a very F-boy white guy name. That's fair. I feel like Liam caught
I feel
astray.
like it's a underachieving sort of like.
I'll ask this way.
boring
Have you
white
ever
man
watched
name.
a show, a movie, or anything, seen a character named Josh and thought at any point that you've seen them through the entirety of the production, your mindset was, yeah, that's someone who's got it all together?
Nope.
Nope, never.
No,
Can't say
It's
once,
never
right?
happened.
Can't
Right,
say.
not
right.
once.
Can't say.
Ever.
Cannot say I have.
I just thought they were a fuck up.
See, yeah. Josh is someone who punches the wall.
Mhm.
I will say that Lexi is someone who punches the ceiling. If you put on tongue-tied, which I've done at a frat house before.
Let's go ahead and roll for this code.
Anyway.
Glowing
You contain
nowhere!
those.
Woo!
Glowing
Yeah,
nowhere,
like
you won the other code. So I will be sending those out after the stream. And I'll actually remember instead of sending it like a day or two later, which I have maybe done.
Just go ahead and make a note, right? Just go ahead.
I
and make a note
literally
right now.
did, and because of how the night's gonna go, I'm very confident in that. So,
See, now I'm really going to be thinking back to all the Joshes I've ever seen in pop culture.
There's no
and
good
I
ones.
really am be thinking
the
about
best you come up with is Drake and Josh.
Wally, your mic's
and
doing it again.
again. Jeez. There we go.
The,
How's
the,
that sound?
Better.
Well, Josh from Clueless worked for a legal firm. Granted, it was nepotism, but
That
he
is
had a full ass
true. It
job
was
and went to
nepotism
college.
based. But
Yeah.
no, but they were very well to do.
And then
They
he
knew what
fucked
they
his
were doing.
stepsister.
Yeah, no, he's not doing great in life. I'm just saying,
Right,
for a
like-
minute there.
like, I'm gonna say Paul Rudd did not get that role for his sterling acumen.
Oh my goodness
Oh my
gracious.
gosh.
He got that role for his cheekbones.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna be
so
thinking about it all the time.
our team, let's go ahead and take a shift. And our team is once again making travel, and they are heading ever westward from Beslat. They have fully healed. Like I said, you are all at full health, you are all at full stamina. And we move on westward. You travel across a couple of familiar cities. You pass the free city of Dorder. You make it through the siege weald, knowing some safe routes without having worry. And you eventually end up in Garland, the Magic City, as it is known, because it is the home to the Garland Magic Academy, amongst other things. And it is here that you all gather so you can make your next steps happen. And we find our heroes on the outskirts of Garland. And let's let's hear how things go from here.
Virgil looks at the city's limits and then looks over at Feldspar and goes, "Hey, Felds,
Yes?
I'm just gonna make a little bit of assumption here, but did you go to this academy?"
Yes. Yes, I did.
So, you're telling me if I go into this city and I ask around about any kind of embarrassing stories about you, I will have a chance of finding one?
Feldspar gets real quiet at that.
I feel
Really
like if
quiet.
I feel like if you did, Virgil, you might get the information you were seeking. But, and I look at Feldspar and then back to Virgil, you might not make it out of the city alive.
Virgil sits there for a second, like he starts pondering this. You know what?
Virgil.
You're right. Yeah.
Listen to me carefully. My name in the city will be of no benefit to you.
All right, you know what? Out of respect that I have for you, I will not ask around about you.
It's not respect. It's making sure you don't get skinned. And she'll walk forward.
Feldspar, are you all right?
I'm fine. I am.
You don't need me to punch anyone in this place, do you?
No.
Because you know I will.
It would be for the best if no one committed an act of violence here. Unless absolutely necessary.
Fair enough, but if I do have to commit one, I will have to commit at least 3.
You should not punch people here.
It won't be punching for fairness. And I walk toward the city.
We're here for you. I look over at Felicia and just like pat Feldspar on the back.
This is going to be a lot like being in training, Fallon. The academy takes students of all kinds, but most of the ones who can afford tuition are noble. There's a few exceptions, of course, but this town is crawling with them. So
Okay.
be careful.
Are we like what kind of people are going to be here? People that could, inventors? Are we dealing with?
We're dealing with all sorts of types. Inventors are some of them, yes. Scholars, practitioners of the arcane arts, of any sort, whether it be arcane engines or otherwise.
And this school, how tough is it to get in? And how tough is it to get out?
Are you interested in getting in?
I would be interested. I have I don't know, I have a few designs. This and I'll reach onto my hip and have my hand cannon and say, this is an original design. I assume that something of this nature would be quite impressive to the right people.
I think that you would do far better at the school than I did.
I doubt that. But I'm glad that you warned me. Not everywhere is very warm and welcoming, so it's good to know what kind of people we're dealing with here.
Yes, certainly.
Maybe we should we, like, if there's any situation we're kind of stuck in, should we, like, have, like, a word you can say that we know, like, to get out right now?
Yeah, some kind of high sign.
Like a word nobody uses.
How about the opposite?
A word,
A word that I can say to make sure that you don't go off. Any of you.
Fair?
All right.
Fair.
I turn around and just go, I've not been to this city often, but I've gone enough to know not to cause trouble. And I won't.
The city should be fine, as It should be fine for all of you. If I say guys sell greens, though, do not get involved.
Okay.
Got it, guys. All greens.
Alan pulls out a tiny notebook and writes that in.
There is, like, what you see is, like, a wave of, like, concern and kind of questioning that is there for the briefest of moments, and then it vanishes.
Let's go in.
Chocobo food it is.
Feldspar and Fallon both take a... Go ahead and both of you take a Fowler point. So our team goes in. Where is everyone headed? What is your actual plan here in Garland? And you can feel free to ask any questions to kind of frame what you want to do.
If there is a library, I am going to go to the library. Specifically because libraries probably in a city like this one, they probably keep a lot of written records about both things like families and the people and their genealogies and things like that. Because if there's anything nobles love having, it's recorded records of all of their genealogies.
All right, so certain bits of information here in Garland, just like anywhere else, I would make you roll to see if you know. Certain things I will give you. Feldspar went to the Magic Academy, and thus you're just gonna, as a group, barring Sephi having any issue with sharing, I'll allow you to know. So I will let you know that here in Garland, there is a major library as a part of the campus for the Magic Academy. Now, it is publicly open and available, but not the entirety of the library is accessible to the average person. There is sections in back that are supposed to be just for the students. Generally speaking, it would be a matter of if you go back there, someone might question you or what have you, but you could go back there and look if you thought you could sneak in and get away with it, but like there's a section you're not supposed to be in, but there are plenty of areas you absolutely can access yourself and no one would think twice about seeing just an average Joe in there.
My suggestion is that we go speak with the headmistress first.
Understood.
Okay.
All right.
After that, we can split up, do what we need to do research, get any sort of additional supplies you need, and figure out our next step.
Okay. So, I'm assuming everyone's on board? Okay. So, the team makes their way through the town, heads to the Magic campus, or Magic Academy campus. They go through the standard pathway through the school to the faculty side of it, and they go towards Feldspar. Innately knows the path and heads towards the office where the headmistress keeps duty in the back. When you approach the desk of the assistant of the headmistress, she looks and she kind of squints at you, but it's kind of like she's trying to place your face, but she doesn't really say anything. She sees how many students every day, every year. You're just another face in the crowd at this point to her. And so with that, you ask for entry. I will just go ahead and say you managed to make it in. You managed to see the headmistress, and as you get there, you walk into the office, and there is the headmistress of the Garland Magic Academy, Forsavia Dawn. And you see her busy writing away at something, and as the door opens, one of these, and then puts everything down, takes off her reading glasses and looks up, and... Oh!
Headmistress?
Feldspar? Not a face I was expecting to see today.
No, expect not.
What kind of, can I roll an intuition just quietly over here to see what kind of vibes we're getting? Or is this one of those very obvious things?
No. Roll intuition and I'll see how much you pick up on.
Okay. That vibe check is a 12.
All right. I'm going to tell you, you can tell, obviously, while Feldspar is just saying she went to school here, this is not like the average student to headmistress relationship. There's clearly some further connection. Now, obviously, you're not going to define out any details just by vibes, but you can tell these two have had more than one run-in, and there is clearly some sort of connection between them beyond just the standard. Yeah. I wasn't quite prepared for this, dear, but do you
I
need...
apologize. It seems my missive didn't make it here.
Oh, no, I did receive your letter about, undead. But is that what you came all the way here for? I figured it would be something I would write you back about.
I'm afraid the situation is a little bit more dire than can be communicated through a letter. We have need of access to the school's resources as far as the library goes.
That should be fine. Is it truly that worrisome?
Yes.
You know I don't say this lightly to you. You're not getting into anything you can't handle, correctly?
It's my duty as a soldier.
Right. Well,
There is a particular emphasis placed on soldier there that is not completely untinged with bitterness.
right. Yes, dear. I will make sure that no troublesome elements are anywhere near library today. I will run interference there.
I'd greatly appreciate that.
Of course, dear. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Is that scholar that was studying more ancient magic still around?
Oh, yes, no. He's probably, honestly, in the library himself would be the best place to find him. I'm assuming you're referring to Timotheus. And yes, he would likely be in the back of the library, probably looking through tomes and making more notes today. I believe that's what he said he was doing today.
Thank you. I will go communicate with him.
Of course, dear.
Promptly. We shan't take more time out of your day, so.
Feldspar, and you see her put her hand forward.
Yes, headmistress.
I truly do hope you're okay.
I am as well as can be expected.
I understand. And you see her pull her hand back and get up and say, well, I have some sweeps of the grounds to do and some people to waylay. So, if you'll excuse me. And you see she walks out of the office. She just walks out of the office before y'all. She goes straight about doing what she has to do. This is a very no-nonsense woman.
As she leaves, can I look at her desk really quick?
Go ahead and give me, give me intuition.
$13.
All right. So you see she has a number of papers on her desk, a couple of assorted books. It's kind of one of those situations where it's like dirty but organized. Like it seems like piles, but as you pay closer attention, you can tell there's definitely some logic behind the chaos. Like every stack of loose papers where you'll read something will either be next to another set of papers where it seems to make sense, something where there's one paper here that says registration and another paper next to it that shows like a registrar of already collected names and what have you. And you see the letter that she lifted and put down when you were speaking was in fact your missive, and she had circled the word undead a few times on it, wrote a few question marks. You see there are handwritten, what you would think might be notes, but it's basically chicken scratch. You can't make out what exactly her thoughts are. But the letter is sitting on top of a book. The tome is written in Old Evolution, but you can tell that it is a tome that speaks on the nature of necromancy. Kind of like, not necessarily an intro, but something to that effect, like the precepts of necromancy. So you can kind of assume she was probably trying to just brush up and look over some of the basic concepts, and anything she was searching off of goes off of there.
Is there anything bookmarked?
So you walk up to it, you're gonna open it up, or you're gonna take it to look. Are you gonna open it, or are you just gonna kind of look on the side?
As long as there's nothing else on it besides the letter, and I'm not going to disturb anything in a noticeable way.
Yeah, no, it's just the letter and that book. There's nothing else on top it. Okay,
Yeah,
so walking up to it, if you take a look, you do notice there is a bit of a dog earring on one particular page. If you open that page, you'll see it very specifically is discussing advanced necromancy and, more importantly, combination necromancy, where it can be used in two senses, both in the sense of mass usage on multiple bodies at once instead of a focused effort, as well as like combining different sources into one. Basically, the ability to disperse or concentrate your energies as needed for different effects. So you can tell that's kind of what she was focusing on. And I'll say with your intuition roll, you can kind of gather that it's because you mentioned there was a lot of fucking undead. So she's trying to see what all would be involved in multiple at one time.
I'll quickly close the cover of the book. We should be going.
Oh, okay. I mean, don't want to like check the desk a little longer, perhaps?
No.
Oh, all right, cool. And he just slowly backs out the room.
A soldier, you said?
Yes, we are soldiers. What else would you call us?
I feel like that has a different meaning for you, but perhaps now is not the time to pry. And I head to the library.
I follow him.
All right, so everyone heads out, and you all head towards the library. Nothing of note happens along the way. So as you get to the library, you see that it's a very, very old building, fittingly old. Like, this building has to have been built hundreds of years ago, and it clearly has served this same purpose ever since. And you see it stretches on for what seems forever, multiple levels cascading up along the sides, shelves and shelves of books everywhere. But when you first walk in, there is a round central palladium style desk with a bunch of different small square drawers about yay big that'll be pulled out, and you see various people flipping through cards and information inside. Fundamentally something to the effect of a Dewey Decimal System of sorts. Basically, you can tell that for as big as this place is, they know where things are supposed to be, and there is some semblance of organization here in the front. How do you proceed?
I imagine we will have to divide and conquer. I'm going to go off in search of that scholar I mentioned to the headmistress.
Understood.
I suggest that you start in the back. It's where most of the privileged information is kept.
Should the rest of us be looking for something specific? Or are we just combing through?
I'd like to take a look at that coin and see if we
I
can find
agree.
anything.
Sure.
I have a couple of ideas in mind, and I suppose we'll start in the genealogy section.
I imagine that you may also want to look up records of the family. Just because they're not powerful now doesn't mean that was always the case.
Hmm.
I personally will look more into what our friend has been up to. Everyone agreeable?
Indeed.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
May our labor be fruitful.
As you.
So how exactly, so I can parse this out, is everyone going to split up? Are you going to, obviously Sephi, Feldspar is going to look for Timotheus, but for the rest of you, are you going to move in groups? Is everyone going to move fully separately? What sections are you going to be going for, just so I can properly parse this out?
Also, people could follow Feldspar. She didn't say anything particular about
Right.
it. So.
I think Fallon is going to stay with Feldspar. She seems to be a home base for this place, so she's going to stick with Feldspar and just whatever she sees Feldspar doing, she's going to try to do that, but looking for people with this name.
Right.
Mirroring, really.
I am going to be looking through whatever information I can find on the Holstead family in this library, going as far back as I can.
Absolutely.
And in particular, looking for people who are either have like a lot of renown or have any exploits related to uses of powerful magic.
Virgil is going to be pretty much looking up that name, but also he wants to find anything he can on what that guy did to kill Remus. He wants to know exactly.
So
what
you're
was
looking
done.
into the dark powers themselves. Okay.
I'm looking into that because I need to know how to beat this.
Absolutely.
Because I won't feel like I putting Remus's name to rest if I don't.
And Celesia?
I want to know everything about this coin. I want books on metallurgy. I want anything having to do with smelting magic into coins. I want to know everything.
Okay. Before the group, was the coin given to Celesia for this search?
I
Okay.
did give it to Celesia.
Okay. I want you to do me a favor before we do anything. Give me an aura roll.
Who?
Celesia.
Okay.
That is a 13.
Okay. All right. So as our groups separate, first thing that's going to happen, Sephi and Feldspar and Fallon, as you maneuver throughout the library, you start looking around towards the back. Your search is a bit easier. You're not looking for a particular book, so you can move up to a second or third level and kind of maneuver at an edge to where you can look down aisles and across, just looking for humans, which makes it a lot easier to kind of pin down where to look. And eventually, Sephi, in the corner, you see a wizened old man who you know to be Old Man Timotheus. A guy who was a bit of a fixture at the Magic Academy. He didn't teach classes, but he's been a part of the faculty for quite some time. He's always the guy who would be talking about and researching old magic, forgotten magic, forbidden magic, and talking about the dangers to all the students. And so you know he was regularly in here searching for all that and finding anything new that he could. And you find him in the corner, and he's got a book in his hands that is written in a language that from your studies you recognize seeing, but you know it is older than Old Evolution. This is a now dead language. Like, you can, by looking at it, you could not read what is in front of you. You may recognize the symbols, but it's in the same way that, you know, we may recognize Viking runes as being such in the real world, but we couldn't tell you what was actually written there. But you see him there mumbling to himself.
Sir Timotheus.
Oh,
Hi.
I know I've seen you before.
She will slightly bow and say, Feldspar Lycio.
Yes, the Lycio girl. I remember you. Always a good girl. But I haven't seen you here. Well, are you okay, Helen?
I'm well. I simply am no longer a student here.
We sometimes things move on. He also takes the time to acknowledge Fallon, but it's just literally like him staring up at how.
I bow.
And then he just looks back at Feldspar.
We have need of your knowledge, sir.
It must be serious, for my knowledge.
It is indeed.
How
It
can I?
concerns ancient magic, particularly those of old necromancy.
Oh dear, that is a dangerous sort. You're not looking to. You sure? No, that is something you do not
Sir,
wish to dabble
I
with.
assure you, I am not tampering with these powers myself.
Oh, you need
It's more.
for protection then. Well, I've done much and many research into the old arts. What do you need to know?
We encountered a mage who, among other things, could mass raise undead, imbue a man with dark powers, summoned a Bone Hydra.
Bone Hydra? I've not even. And you survived?
Barely, but yes. Not everyone was so lucky, unfortunately.
You always showed an aptitude for talent. Yes, what you're talking about is a deep, dark necromancy. It was given its name by one of the earlier practitioners. He was simply known as Necron himself. The darkness he brought into this world is truly unparalleled. He refined and honed techniques that were already existing in terrible, terrible ways. Stitch bodies together as if they were playthings. It's awful stuff. To think it still runs around Ivalis is...
It does more than run. It actively affects. We need to know all that we can about this.
Well, you're going to want to sit for this one. There is much and more to learn. And as the three of you take a seat, we move over to another part of the library where we see Zeros is poring over different books. Virgil nearby, I'm assuming as of now, you're both looking into the books of the family lineage of it all. And as you're looking through by names, you found the area where many family histories are kept. You find large tomes of this family and that family, the Beolves, the Orlandus, you see the Margraves, you see all of these different families that are known that stand out. And then in a much more slender tome, not incredibly small, but much more slender, you happen up to see the name Holstead. And as you pull it down and you open it and you begin looking, you see an annotated history of the family. It goes back a couple of hundred years, not as far back as some other families. You saw they came into a noble position, and not the highest one, but they mattered enough to annotate their family history. Zeros, can you give me an intuition roll?
That is a 14.
Okay. With that, as you're flipping through, you notice 2 pages are stuck together. And it's, as you go to flip, it's almost, you almost miss it, but you just happen to catch that the thickness is off when you grab it to pull it over. And as you do, you start fiddling with it and manage to get the pages, which are unusually dry almost compared to what's around them. And they're practically creased together, but as you pull them apart, you can see the ink separating. And because of how they were stuck together, some of it is blemished, but you can make out this is an actual family tree of the Holsteads. It starts with Primaris Holstead going back 300 years ago, and it works its way down. And you see it all come down to a couple of separate branches coming into the modern day. Some of them have dates of death annotated as recently as 10 years ago, 15 years ago, likely casualties from the war. And you see there's one last line going to the corner. And the way it's linked up, there is it's actually drawn out with boxes to connect family members and whatnot. And you see it goes down to a box in the corner, and it's lower than anything else. You can't make out the name, unfortunately. The name is just a bit too damaged, a bit too smudged. All you can see is it starts with what you think is either an N or an M. You're not perfectly sure, but you can't make out the rest of the name. But the line that goes there, this family member does not have a date of death listed. So the Holstead family is still around and alive.
All right, so it looks like
Is this the only surviving member?
Yeah.
From what I can tell in this?
As far as you can tell, this is the only surviving Holstead family member who, even if they were like married to another house or anything like that, they were born in this age a Holstead and are still alive today. There may be people who have the bloodline, but they've married since into more powerful families where they would have adopted the other family's names. So by now, like, are there still other people who may technically be considered Holstead? Yes, but they wouldn't take that name. It would be like if a commoner had married Barbineth Beolv, they're taking the Beolv name. You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
But as far as people who are being tracked, there is the one remaining living Holstead.
What is their birth date?
It looks like they were born, excuse me, some vaguely 35-ish years ago, thereabouts. They were born in July. You could see it says July, but the number is smudged as for the number of the date. But you can tell that they're more middle-aged.
And there's no record in it just showing like any previous locations or anything.
No, this is strictly a family tree, not like a written catalog of deeds or anything. While there are annotated histories of the family throughout the book, this is very specifically just various listed deeds. I just caught myself in the middle of saying. This is just the listed family members.
Okay.
Written all out.
Is there, so Are there any deeds in the book on any of the other pages?
You continue to flip through the book. Since I know both of you are now looking at this particular book, both of you give me.
I'm pretty sure Virgil like just walked over here and literally looked over my shoulder while I was reading.
No, yeah, that's pretty much what it was. As soon as I saw like the surprise family tree, I stopped what I was doing and started focusing on that.
Right.
This is like,
Both of you give me an intuition roll.
oh, dagnabbit.
Intuition. That's a 9. Actually, no, 10.
Okay, that is a 13.
Okay. As you're flipping through, you get to the end of the book, and you're looking for anything that leads to now. But what you find is you see the explanations are getting into the rise of the house. The house has gotten into various camps of magic. They seem to be magically acclimated year after year after year, generation after generation. They get into the 50 Years' War, where they're clearly taking part, and then the history stops. It stops at that point. And Virgil, you don't notice, but Zeros, you notice very closely, while there are still blank pages, which is very common in family genealogy books like these, because there is still more future to write, you can see that someone tried to cut pages out of this book, specifically cut, not rip, in such a way as to make it seem like they weren't there. But there's just a slight little nick of paper where they cut a little bit more sloppy than intended. But you can tell there was at least one sheet of paper there that isn't anymore.
Like Virgil looks at the book like,
It's
what,
just
that's
like-
it? He like flips through the page. It's like, what the hell?
I look at Virgil and just go, two things. One, this thing that you do where you read over my shoulder sometimes, we're gonna have to talk about that. Parenthetical note to character, this actually does not bother me. It's kind of endearing. Two, I'm afraid that's not the end of the book, and that now gives me a cause for concern.
Oh, no, it is the end of the book. There's like stopped writing right here.
I actually just go, I'm going to actually boot you on your nose. I need you to look further than the end of this. And I point to the point in the page that I can see where something has been removed.
One, we're gonna talk later about you booping my nose like that. Two, I see what you're talking about here. Looks like someone tried to did their own kind of editing.
Here's the thing. Look here. And I go back to the family tree and point to the box where someone has a birth date but no death date. And this is the only remaining family member that continues to be on this tree.
And the only thing we got going by is a kind of a name, the first couple of letters.
I imagine that other family members, if we were to look them up, we would probably still find them. They seem to have an aptitude for magic, but none of them go by this name, except for, I guess, this last one. As for that missing page, they did not want anyone to notice that they were here, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they wanted us to find this family tree either. These pages practically took an act of the gods to unpry.
It looks like to me, it looks like to me that maybe they didn't want anyone to find it. Like the last person who touched this book, that did the cutting here, maybe they also did something to these pages so that no one would find that family tree. Like
Why
they're
didn't
ashamed
they-
of something.
Why didn't they just take the book?
Well, you know how these rich people are. I mean, rather snip one little part of their history instead of getting rid of their entire family lineage history.
I suppose they could have. There's only one living member. All the other ones, if they are alive, would have married into other families and taken those names. They wouldn't have any concern for this. The book doesn't even list any significant deeds that they did. This is peculiar.
Sure is. Also, they do that really freaky weird magic too, and I don't like that.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if... Can I do an aura roll? I would like to know if this book has any kind of like magical residue on it.
I want you to hit me with an aura roll on that.
Right, that is what I was
That is
hoping
what he
for.
asked for.
It's true.
Okay, that aura roll is a 13 for you.
So, you're trying to reach out and feel magic in general.
Like, I want to know, like, basically, hey, like, what's happening with this book?
Right. What I'm saying is, you can feel that this is an area that is very saturated with magic in general. There are many old spells that have passed through this place. There's many magic users in and out. But in the book, you get the faint idea that magic was used on it. And you notice it feels the most strongly on the page with the family tree. So likely whatever means they used to try to seal the page was magical in nature. This was not just the happenstance of steam or water vapor carrying to this book and happening to wet these pages. This was a deliberate act. You cannot feel the source of the magic, to be clear. You're not sure who deliberately did this act, but you can tell, like, this was done by someone.
Right. Like, it, and that's mostly what I was going for. Not that I can find out who did this, but, you know, like, is there, like, magic preventing things from being read or hiding things?
No. So, in other words, the magic was in play of pressing these pages together. It was a minor spell. It almost is like someone was trying to use the minimal amount possible to make this all seem as normal as they could, even being off. Like, this is an attempt at a cover-up.
So, what Virgil would see is me, like, with my eyes closed, running my hands along the pages. And then there would be a head tilt here. They used magic to seal this.
What do you mean magic to seal it? We were able to open it just fine. It doesn't seem sealed.
They seemed to not want to use a more powerful magic, probably so that it didn't stick out in this library.
That's true. I mean, a place like this, a powerful magic would be able to pinpoint it out easily. Are we gonna, like, just take this book? Because it really feels like we're about to leave this library and just walk out with this book.
I don't think we should take it out of the library, but Feldspar mentioned that she knows someone who knows about these things. Maybe they might know something about this family that we don't. We should find her.
And I, like, pull out a scroll and I just copy down the notes from the family tree and I roll it into my pocket.
Okay. By the way, all four of you thus far take an extra point of valor for everything that's happened since we're here. So the two of you move from here, head towards the group with Timotheos, and we move over to Silesia, who is in a different part of the library. And here's where I'm going to reveal, from that aura roll on the coin, you have finally taken the time to notice the coin itself. Yes, it is a metal coin stamped with that family symbol. But there's an energy emanating from it. And the best bet you can get is not that there's no secret spell hidden between that's going to be launched out at anyone. It's not a trap, it's nothing like that. It's more like the feeling of half a spell. Like this coin is a part of something else, but by itself is inert, so to speak. And so as you're looking through these books on metallurgy and what have you, using that information, one book catches your eye. And it is Metallurgy and Magic Infusion. And as you read, you see that it is very possible to take any metal item and not just use magic for the smithing process, but actually imbue it with magic. Now, generally, this would be used for enchanting a sword to have flame, enchanting a bow to have lightning, something along those lines. But there are more precise things that can be done. Do me a favor and give me an intuition roll.
That is 16.
So, as you're flipping through this book, a part catches your eye, and it makes things make all the more sense. It gets into advanced magic placement, and one of the things that actually gets outlined is separating magic metallurgy. And as you read, you come to understand. This is when you, at its most basic, is when separating magic so that when powerful magics, so that when multiple things come together, they become amplified. A flaming sword and a shield that will ramp that baby up to 20. But given what it's describing, you can tell this coin is not that. The magic is far more simple, far more basic. And as you keep reading, you see there's another version of it, which is interlocking. Essentially, one magic activating another, and the most simplified usage that you see in the passage is a magic key. And you realize this coin, while you don't know where, this is the key to something.
Why would he give it to us? And she is, I think, in a corner, sort of turning the coin over and over and over in her hands, contemplating it, having finished poring over the books. Why give it to us? Is it a challenge or an invitation? Both. Do I looking at the coin with the information, knowing that it's a key, do I have any sense of any idea of, like, I guess I'm trying to figure out, like, what the size of the thing the key is to. Is it a building? Is it a chest? Is it...
Let me see how much we can push your search here. Give me a resolve roll.
That is a 10.
Okay. I'm going to say by sheer force of will, like your first attempts at gathering what was really going on with this coin wouldn't have told it. By sheer force of will, you can gather that the magics match. So whatever you're opening is going to be at most a little bit bigger than you. We're not talking about some giant seismic machine. We're not talking about any, like, a bomb, anything like that. What specifically it's gonna go in? I don't know. But you can tell that, like, it is not meant to go into some massive thing. At most, maybe anywhere from the size of a small box to maybe the size of an average door.
Okay, so I
Somewhere in
generally
that
know what
range.
size.
But you couldn't get more pinpointed than that, just based on what you're feeling.
I will absolutely take that. Okay, I'm gonna close up all of the other books, except for the one on magic and metallurgy. And I just want to take one last look. Anything that I missed? Or have I essentially sucked this book dry of all of its knowledge?
No, I think anything that would apply to this situation, you would have. Like, there's nothing more that references, like, the specific symbol or anything you're dealing with.
Okay, then I am going to close all of my books and take the time to put them back, and as best as I can figure out according to their particular Dewey Decimal System, and then I'm going to go off in search of everyone else with the coin tucked in a pouch inside of my uniform.
Okay.
So there's no risk of it falling out or anything.
Okay, so as everyone is gathering back on this point, I'm going to point out where people come in. So Timotheos has been speaking to Feldspar and Fallon and explaining, in the old days, in the early times, magic was far more basic, which is hard at times to understand, but even there was no refinement of fire into fire and Fyra and Fyraga. It was just flame. And then the early mages came and honed it. This applied to all forms of magic. To fire, to ice, to lightning, and to life. And of course, to death. And if magic can bring healing, and magic can create death, then magic can bond them together. And that is where Necron came about. And through his magics, he found the way to create necromancy in a more advanced sense. And that is when he created... There is a group. There are questions by many as to whether they really exist. This is about the time that Zeros and Virgil fall in line. They are they are known as the Dark. Simply as the Dark. If they have another name, they sure have not made it public. So it's what we refer to them as because they use the dark. They operate in shadow. They operate in darkness. And they honed their craft. And they learned to create beings of bones, maybe sinew, and enhance them with magic and turn them into ethereal warriors to do their bidding. Whether or not they still exist is debatable, but the magic is certainly not dead itself. At this point is when Salacia walks up amongst the group. And the magic is dark and forbidden for a reason. Healing for the purpose of saving life has never and will never be restricted. But it has long been agreed that when you deal with things beyond the pale of life, it is not legal. There is no group that could be practicing with this darkness in light and be allowed to do such things. They would be arrested on sight, or worse, They're dabbling in things man should not. If you've run into...
They operate in the dark, though. I
Yes,
presume they have some way of hiding what they do.
yeah.
What did this group do?
They've been involved in a great many things. Some believe that it was them who formed the very basis of the demons that Saint Ajora Globados fought all those many centuries ago. Some believe they have been behind every war in the history of Ivlis. Some believe that they, in fact, have created the great Lucavi demons as we know them. And you mentioned a powerful dark magic being given to a man. Oh, well, I can tell you for sure that they did create incredible old artifacts which could pass on these magics directly into people. That I know for sure.
What cost would such a contract take?
What is the value of a soul? To imbue yourself in dark powers that are built thoroughly on death. And on the other side, one cannot remain whole. There must be sacrifice. You see him taking moments to acknowledge all five of you, even though he's still clearly speaking his story.
The rest of you are here. Let's see.
Yeah, we got some information to share with the rest of you guys. How about you?
I found some too.
Yeah,
Sir Timotheus,
yes.
we need a way to actively combat this.
Oh. I mean, darkness is combated with light, traditionally, but when you are talking about the depths of darkness, sometimes even light cannot disperse it. Not to
My
use
healing spells could not heal a wound that was caused by these.
Yes, the nature of death, the true, unfounded nature of death, rebukes life. Oh, it is what makes all of this magic so very wrong. Death itself rejects life, and to bring death back, it's an abomination. And the only true way to fight it is to cut off the source. You can slay the creatures, the abominations created all you want, but one who has sold their souls like that to power, they will never stop until they are defeated.
What if a wound that is inflicted by it could be healed?
It could, but it would take quite some work, far more than a simple cut or bruise.
Miss Nance would be alright.
Sir Timothy,
But it's...
hypothetically, if someone were to dabble in this magic, is that something that would, I don't know, get them outright excommunicated from their family, or?
Oh, their family would be the least of their concerns were it found. There is no one in Ivlis who knows of such powers who would allow it to continue, no matter how desperate. They would.
Sir Timotheus, not everyone is as moral as you are.
Oh, no. My sweet, you speak of morals. I speak of fear. Anyone who saw that, they would have to be mad. Yes, they could gain power, but they know that power could turn on them. they would find, even if they were to use it, they would always be finding a way to keep themselves safe through it all.
There are ways of using powers that you do not have and enticing them to work for you. Have not every member of the royal family had a mage beside them? Powerful noble families?
You speak truth. It could be done, but again, it would be the work of an utter madman. Someone who values not themselves, nor Ivalis.
What of a family with a fair bit of magical aptitude?
I mean, there's been countless many. That's why this very academy exists. We see so many of the aptitude coming through here, but it takes a certain particular type to even consider dabbling in such darknesses.
Feldspar, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
I pass to Mateus the book.
The Holstead family. Oh, yes, they've been here for generations. I've seen several of them coming through these halls.
Two things are true. Several of their records disappear after the 50 Years' War. Also, there's only one living family member among them in this page here. Can you see that name at the corner?
I don't need a family tree to tell you. There is... well, it's... How to put this? There is a living bloodline, but there is no longer a living Holstead. The last one to roll through here, she married many moons ago, and she no longer carries the name. That would be why the book would end here.
Are you certain? And I draw their attention to the box that has a person's, just a letter. It's an N with the July birthday, but not a date, and no death date either.
Right. Oh, yes. Oh, positive. I don't know the relevance, but... Feldspar, you should be the one to tell them.
What do you mean?
This Holstead. Are you not connected to House Alexandros? This is Marigold Holstead. Yes.
Marigold?
She would be the last one of the house, and Lord knows she's not going by that name after, well, everything.
Marigold is Holstead.
Are you familiar?
We've never met. She married my father.
Yes, Garnet Alexandros.
Well, this particular page is sealed by magic, and also a page in this book has been removed.
You see him reach into his side and pull out a pair of glasses. They're bifocaled glasses. This guy is not. But he's like, oh, that is unusual. But why?
That's what we want to know. Why was this cut out from this book? What would have someone want to come in here just to do this, especially to make it look like nothing happened?
There are no records.
I can think of a number of reasons why Marigold would want to keep secrets. But is that birth date, that one listed there, is that meant to be Marigold's, or is she somewhere else in the book?
I would presume it to be her. It's just...
It's strange that it's strange that that would be hidden. It's not an unknown fact that she was married to my father prior to his death.
Oh, well, I don't know why it would be hidden either. It was a known quantity. It seems we're getting into very I don't know what this to do with dark magics.
Well,
You can see he's getting, like, mind you, there's been a lot of through this whole thing, but you can see this old man is getting a little bit off kilter from everything thus far.
Sir,
Yes.
try not to speak of what we've spoken of here. We wouldn't want anyone to get worried. We will
right.
solve the problem.
Yes, my dear. I trust you. And no, this is not the type of thing that one just speaks of freely.
One final question, if I may.
Of course, my dear.
The church has records that we do not normally have access to. Do you think that they would have some information about this group?
Oh, of course. If you go to the repository at Orbon is every record you could possibly imagine, even greater than here. But, I mean, you wouldn't exactly be able to just walk in. You could make a formal request, but if you're asking about these kinds of things, well, they won't look at you in the most good of lights. I would advise...
They will if they... I will remind you, Sir Timotheus. We're not looking to engage these powers ourselves. We're looking to prevent them.
They might take it that way. Just walk with ease, child. You tell the wrong person of the Shrine Knights, of these kinds of powers. That is a fast way to be labeled a heretic. I would not want that fate to befall you.
Your warning is heard. I appreciate it. We will not trouble you further.
Yes. I will return to my studies. Yes, my studies. Yes.
Thank you for your time. We leave.
I was saying that. I'm assuming the group leaves.
Yeah.
Should we keep an eye on the guy just in case anyone tries to go after him?
That's my concern.
We need to keep an eye on him.
We could leave sugar. And I'll dig a dragon out of my backpack and just...
You can do more than just leave sugar. I'll open my pack and bunkle my carbuncle, big floppy ears, and snow like white blue fur will pop out. Go.
Now you two behave. And just kind of scoop them together.
So they obviously maneuver off. I'm going to put it as Sugar is riding on Carbuncle's back, who's like hipping and hopping, and they're scurrying around through the side and making their way up to a little perch where the two of them kind of nuzzle up together and keep eyes on the old man. I know how to sell fan service, y'all.
They're besties.
Cute. They really
They are besties.
Okay.
We should not discuss this further here in public. I do want to know what you found, Salacia. But
Do you know of somewhere that we could go? I think you know the area better than the rest of us.
There's an inn that we can go to.
Okay.
It's probably for the best.
So the group makes their way to the inn. Innkeeper just you arrange payment. Gives you how do you want to split up your rooms for the night? Is everyone going to crowd one big room? Are you going to try and get separated rooms? How do you want to do it? This is it, to be clear, this is, again, because it's the Magic Academy, but there's also, Garland is just a very important town. They know there's barracks here. They see retinues of troops moving in and out from the front lines, so it wouldn't be uncommon no matter what you ended up picking.
I think separate rooms for now.
That would be the most observant of propriety, yes.
If that works for everyone.
Yeah,
One
I'm
for
fine
each
with
of us.
separate rooms.
Fallon,
Yes,
Glacia, may I request joining you in one of your rooms?
Of course.
of course. Yeah, whoever.
Thank you. Appreciate it. But for now, let us gather in one. We have much to discuss.
Yes. And as you all gather in one room,
Celicia palms the coin and reveals it. I'm not so sure that that strange old mage was trying to hurt us.
What do you mean?
Let me... This coin is either a challenge or an invitation. And here's what I mean. Magic has been smelted into the coin itself. The coin is not soaked in magic, it is magic. And as far as I could tell in what I was looking up, well, it matches something. It's part of a set. Like a key that goes into a lock. I don't know what the lock is, obviously, but...
So it's a component of a larger spell that, when added to it, triggers its effects.
Exactly.
That means that we could just be messengers.
Yeah, I mean, why would a guy give us a key if we weren't supposed to do something with it?
I imagine he has a contingency plan too if we toss it away.
Well, the good news is, size-wise and proportionally, the amount of magic contained in this coin isn't enough to be, say, a bomb or anything explosive, anything like that. No shrapnel. I think that it's safe to carry to whatever degree of safe we believe we can still cling to.
I will say, there are magics far more dangerous and powerful that are not a bomb.
I know.
But I don't think we have any choice but to find out, do we?
I have a feeling that if we discard it, it will find us.
I would agree with that assessment.
Also, this guy's probably watching us through that thing too, right?
Yeah.
Can I use Spirit Sight on the coin? Just
hit
it's
it.
the one thing I haven't done. Celicia looks at the coin just a little bit closer, desperate to find something that she might have missed or overlooked. And I'm just looking for... I guess I'm doing a vibe check. I want to, like, does it feel like
Right.
there's anything coming off of this? Does it feel like...
So I will
somebody's
say
using
this.
as a view piece?
You're not gonna gain. You're not gonna so much gain information in terms of knowing more what it is, but this will help you know more what it isn't.
Okay.
You having used Spirit Sight multiple times up until now to identify where these skeletal energies are from, the necromantic energies in multiple scenarios, what have you. This is not that. You can tell that even regardless of the source of the magic, there is no sort of innate dark, evil, undead, any of that component. This is straight up good old fashioned, it connects to something else. It has a simplistic, you can also tell it's a very simple magic in and of itself. Whatever it connects to could be slightly more complex, but this isn't going to be a chain of command where you put this into a thing and suddenly the world's greatest necromantic dragon gets summoned. It is going to be something closer to the origin point in terms of scope.
Well, the energy that comes off of it, it's nothing like when we were back in the marshlands or back in the forest. It doesn't reek of death or the absence of life. I don't want to say innocuous. I don't want to disregard the risk that it may pose, but it feels like it's just utilitarian, meant to accomplish a task.
Some sort of transmutation.
And we're
With
fully against.
Marigold's. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go.
Nope. I was just checking my plan to throw it out of the window.
It has Marigold's family seal on it. And if she is the last extant member of the bloodline, I suppose we'll have to pay a visit, won't we? Or we could go to the church. I really don't think they'll brand us as a heretic. I think that might be the better plan.
The better plan does sound like a better plan, but it sounds like we'll also get more information if we go to this family.
Not necessarily.
I'm beginning to think, is this one of those not necessarily things you tell me to try to, take advantage of maybe that I'm not as smart as you?
When have I ever taken advantage of that?
Flashback to, several moments, no, that's true, you don't. But I think maybe we should go to this family, check it out.
I do have questions. One of them being, are we sure that this is Marigold?
It wouldn't surprise me.
It seems suspicious, don't you think?
How so?
Question for the DM.
Absolutely.
For intuition, I'm trying to logic together the pieces of information I have. And there's a piece of it that doesn't make a lot of sense here for what normally happens when people get married. Particularly, someone gets married, but they still have their name listed here after going through all the effort to hide everything else. It feels like someone's being framed. You can think of whatever role you want to have, and I'm not going to talk to the party for a bit while you do that.
No, I'm going to say go ahead and roll intuition. What I will say is it would make sense, to a degree it would make sense, in as much as even if they then join in to another book, they would still be in the original book. The issue that's going to stick out is, what are we trying to hide here, and why?
It is a 15 on that intuition.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you, it would make sense to you that Marigold would be in the Holstead book still. You would have to look and see if she was in another book, but you very much know the key issue here is, why are we trying to hide this? Because from everything you've gathered, this is being hidden for some reason.
So, something doesn't quite make sense here. If this is Marigold, and Marigold is someone that you know, and has made no effort to hide herself, then who made the effort to hide this family tree and a whole page of their family records?
You're assuming that she is a suspect in all this. Could be something completely different.
I'm concerned that someone might want us to see her that way.
That is true. But I think
Well-
that we don't have enough evidence to assume either way.
That unfortunately might mean we will need to speak with her.
Feldspar,
Yes.
how did you see her?
She does not like me.
She's allowed to be wrong.
I head over to the door. I kind of lean up against it. Who is it? All right, who is it? I open up the door.
And there you see, standing before you, a man, or what you presume to be a man, a dark blue cloak, light brown leathered armors and such holding their body with padded gloves on, and a white mask with a blue streak going along it, with smiling eyes and a smiling face and 2 holes in the nose area. And he says, "Do not fear the Reaper." And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end today's episode of A Tale of Two Lions.
What?
Was that the same guy from the church? Was that the same guy from the church?
I feel like it might have been.
Didn't
I
he
feel like
say
it might be
something
my
like
homie.
that?
Yeah, he did.
That's the last thing he said to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Come on, homie. Come on, homie.
Fudge.
Look, he's got smiling eyes. It's
I
probably
don't trust
fine.
that
No.
stuff, though. In a JRPG, you know that's bad news.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for the stream.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, jeez.
Valorous Games and Adventuring Kit. If someone could hit ! Valor in chat, the Valor RP system was what we used. I hope nobody mind a combat-free session. I really enjoyed it, and the system felt
I like
really smooth for
combat-free
things.
sessions.
Yeah.
I love it.
The
Yeah.
system
I
felt
like
really
this a
smooth
lot.
for this. You all have a everyone add one more point of valor. Though valor resets going in and out of combat and such,
Sadly.
you all will get to keep this, and you can still use valor for overdrives and such to do, for instance, +5 to a roll outside of combat. So this could still be usable as you go. So yeah, the system, it's freeform, it's crunchy, it's all the good things all wrapped in one. It's really fun. I really, truly love it. And I really want to thank them once again for sponsoring us. I'm having such a good time with it. Check them out at twitter.com/ValoروusGames. Check them out at www.valorousgames.com for their stuff. And of course, check the link to the Kickstarter so you can sign up to be notified when that goes live, because that Kickstarter is for a reprint of their official book with several pieces of errata changed, some typos handled, and some names taken care of and stuff like that. And we want to support that. Also want to give a big thanks to Adventuring Kit, which, while I didn't get showed off too much today, still was very useful throughout for everyone who needed it. Very smooth, very easy. It is a
A+.
system agnostic virtual tabletop. I would also like to remind you, you can hop into the Discord for them. You can go follow their site, but you can hop into their Discord. They have a super receptive dev. If you have ideas, if you have issues, if you have anything like that, one of the main components of it is this is being written by the people for the people. So the dev, I've already given some feedback, like of an idea I think that would help, that he's already started working on. It's awesome stuff, and it makes it really great. So absolutely give them a try. If you're interested in having a big, large campaign, something with, say, 6 people involved like ours, you would need the premium subscription. But guess what? You can use code GameDad in all caps to get 25% off a monthly subscription. So feel free to do that. Let them know that we sent you. And after I went and ripped the heart out. Oh, and of course, I did the third sponsor thing. So exclamation point Shakar. Please go support that bronze girl. Please go support Jasmine Bular. She is one of the greatest creators in the space. I will not personally rest until when people say, who are the best DMs in TTRPGs? Just as fast as they're listing out the Matt Mercers, the Brennan Lee Mulligans, the Abria Iyengars, I need to hear Jasmine's name getting mentioned among all of them because she is truly in that class. She is above and beyond wonderful. And so I want to show support there. But enough of me talking. Now that I've ripped all your hearts out with information and dangled them in front of you for glee, Wally, go ahead and let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? It's me, Wally, your favorite non-binary slime best friend on Twitter. You can find me at WALLE132, like the cute little Disney robot on Twitter, where I'm just talking about all the shows that I'm in and all the stuff that I'm doing. Like, I will talk about that on Wednesday over at Black Girl May's channel, 8 p.m. Is it 8 o'clock or is it 7 p.m.? I don't know.
7. I'm annoying.
7 p.m.
It's
Eastern.
7 p.m. Eastern is episode 2 of the Strix. Oh boy, buckle in, get some snacks for this one. That's all I'm gonna say. And,
I'm going to go ahead real quick, by the way, and call out Lexi. Lexi doesn't know when anything starts.
Nope.
Like, literally never ask her
don't.
when anything
I text her
starts.
every single time. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know the show starts at 6:30.
We've been going for
And he
3
goes,
weeks,
"Nope."
and she still, to this day, believed it started at 6:30.
To be fair, I also asked when it was today.
Right! I wasn't trying to sell you out as well, but while we're here, the moral of the story is neither Lexi nor Sephi have any clue when anything starts.
What up?
DK, go ahead and take it from there.
Hi, what's up? I'm still DK, and I have been this entire time. I've also been low-key suspicious this entire time, and I'm sure that's not going to become a problem later on at all. You can find me on Twitter at AbbaDarling, sharing my every thought and just slowly becoming a demonic Lisa Frank. I don't know what's happening, but it is a very quick decline, so if you'd like to see what happens next and what other contacts I can find in my collection, that's the place to do it. That's me.
I literally see nothing wrong with that. Lexi, go ahead and take it from there.
Yeah, my name's Lexi, otherwise known as Black Girl Mage. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch, basically doing the D&D thing, basically doing the magic thing. Love talking about tabletops and the space and how it's transforming, and also how to make your own stuff. So normally I would do Tuesday streams where I world build, but these days I'm running the Strix. I pre-recorded all Black HBCU inspired Strixhaven campaign. We're running the prequel right now, so we've got 4 episodes. Episode 2 is dropping this Wednesday at 7. So yeah, that's what I'm mostly tweeting about these days. So if you catch me over there, that's you know, that's the shtick.
Awesome. Sin!
Hi, it's me. So, your resident he, they, and Sunflower. I am all over the place as Cinziak, except for Twitter, where I'm Cinziak Beta. You can find me on Tuesdays playing video games. You can find me on Saturdays playing Apatrano, and you can find me here on Mondays being Zeros, who is constantly in a state of, that's funny, but not funny, ha. Funny weird.
Funny weird.
That's pretty accurate. And of course, Sephi, take us home.
Hi, I'm Sephi, aka Persephone, aka Persephoroth. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, as Persephoroth. That's PERSEPHIROTH. I stream on my channel on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It's a combination of like makeup, drag, sewing, video games, speed runs. I do a lot of random shit. And also this Friday, you can catch me running a game on One Wing Chris's Twitch channel.
I'm excited for that
I
game.
am going to be running a Dark Magical Girl game for some friends of mine. It's my birthday present to Chris, who's my roommate, and it'll have Erica Ishii, Emma Fife, Xander Jeanneray, and I can talk. Danielle Radford. Thank you. Yeah, that's it.
I'm excited for that game. It's gonna be
Amazing.
fun.
Oh
It's
my
gonna be fun.
god.
It's gonna be fun.
All right. And of course, at the end of it all, you find me, your storyteller. Hi, I'm Josh. You can call me Anoriand. You can find me on, I'm assuming you got here through methods, but you can find me on twitter.com/AnoriandGD. You can find me here on twitch.tv/Anoriand. I'm funny sometimes. I do the old games. I do the new games. I do the TTRPG stuff. Hang around if you like. That's basically it from there. Who is alive right now so we can send this love over to someone that I think should get love?
Do you know who Total Party Chill is?
I do not know who
I
Total
do
Party
see
Chill
them
is.
online.
They
are
are
live, yeah.
live.
But I
Total
mean,
Party
if you
Chill
give the recommendation,
Yeah.
I'm down with
or
that.
Cutest Patoot, either one. Brandy's dope.
Let's raid Total Party Chill. I'm fine with that because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just Virgil.
I don't think Virgil's all that chill.
That's
am
actually
not.
fair.
He is not.
Virgil is very high
When
strung.
you're
Virgil
so
is
anxious
not
that
chill.
you are
There's nothing
like
chill.
completely still, that's not chill.
Right. But
It's another level.
thank you all so very much for hanging out with us. We will be back next Monday with more fun, more excitement, and more of all that good stuff. My name's Norian. This wonderful cast here has exceeded all my expectations and made this story truly a blessing. So thank you all for hanging out with us. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. And until next time, I'll catch you later. All right. Raid